Sit down, take a two or two, money till we get it. Paul Wall, let it cool, was ain't talking. Money speak, all that bullshit, keep it. Run the side, run the side, run.
You run that risk when working out of a hotel. That's anybody who's in the adult industry, filming content or seeing individuals. You'll run into like a chance of like housekeeping or somebody reporting you, and you get that infamous knock on the door, or they'll call the phone and then knock on the door and be like, "You got to pack your stuff up." So it's like that's. I have not, not gonna hold my wood. I haven't had that just yet. But I don't want it. I don't want it. I really don't want it.
You think there's more risk in southern states too, or just states that you're not familiar with?
Well, I think I'm more of a place I'm not familiar with. Definitely a place I'm not familiar with because like internationally, I guess like when I was in like Manchester and stuff, I didn't really have that issue. I haven't been to Berlin. That's next on my list. So far, everybody I know who's been to Berlin, it was like, I didn't have an issue with hotel stay, but that's because they were able to rent out, like you can, kind of like how a barber can rent out chairs, a barbershop rent out chairs to the barber. Mm-hmm. In some places, you can rent out studio time in like a private dungeon. So some states, I haven't operated one here in Philly. There was a private dungeon, but it got shut down. I think there's another one that opened up, but I don't do business with them. Mm-hmm. New York, it's cutthroat. New York is crazy. So like, one, you're competing with everybody because everybody's in New York, but two, the rates. So you got to pay them and their rate could vary. It could be a 60-40 split, and you're getting the 40, or they want like X amount of dollars where then you got to bump your rate up so you could pay them and still have something in your pocket. So,
but these dungeons are like businesses in a box where you show up and everything that you would want is there, and you have your like privacy and stuff like that. Where is that on the line of legality?
It's teetering.
Yeah, it's fine line still, so it can operate. It's just a studio. I could rent it out for anything.
Yeah. So sometimes it's labeled as one thing, but it's another, and it's not out in the open like a Burger King where you're seeing like. So it'll be like, if that's how you kind of get in. Some girls like Vegas, there's a flat card men. They, do that kind of thing and handing out cards. Like in, I don't even have it. Like I'm packing. If I turn this camera, it looks crazy. But there's like girls who they do business cards, or they're like just one. There's one escort. I love her to pieces. She gives out matchbooks. Do I have it in front of me? No, I don't. Shit. But she has matchbooks. So that's how you can contact her. And like, she has hers listed of like where you could see her and how you can see her. But like in other places, it's very like you gotta kind of search around. Or like if the person's advertising, they'll say, "Hey, I'm working out of this place," and then once you set the ground for like how the session's gonna go, then all the details are kind of laid out afterwards. Mm-hmm. Like some people own their own private space, so that's my plan. That's my future plan with my like owning a home, is having my own. Like you run the risk of like safety. So some people are like, oh, there's a lot of questions on that, but yeah, some people have their own private space, and you have other people who rent out spaces, and yeah, it's a lot. It's cute. It's like running a lemonade stand, but
your ideal situation is having a studio that's private that you live in as well, or is like have a renovated room in your house or something?
Yeah, that's my plan. So like the place I'm looking at now, it has an entry point, like rather than like I don't know how like house layouts are for where you are, but I can like send you a picture of an example. But the place I'm looking at, it has an entry to the basement from the street. Uh-huh. So rather than have walked in my living room and all that shit, they can, you go in here and that's how you go in, you'll come out. And then obviously I'll have it secured and with cameras to the best of my abilities. But that's kind of what I want, because I have furniture. I have a cage, I have a St. Andrew's cross, I have all that stuff I want to hook up and and not have to pay somebody X amount of dollars an hour, or having to get a hotel room when I'm local or stuff like that to want to indulge.
Mm-hmm.
So,
okay, I bet. So in your experience, your clientele? Is that coming from people you met in real life, or is that coming from people you're seeing online, or is it how are you finding new clients in the first place?
Both.
Both.
Okay. So I have obviously I have a civilian. I used to civilian like social media outlets, and I've met a couple people who are like there, and they're like, oh, I didn't like. I would post something, not like exclusively saying like, hey, I'm a dominatrix, but like something risque, and some people will kind of go into my inbox like, hey, and like want to ask questions and want to talk, because some people, they may not want to see a professional, but they really want to talk about exploring fetish, exploring kinks, exploring something. So it could lead to an actual paid appointment, or it could be just like, hey, how about check this out, check that out, here's these local places, check out this website. So God, the days of Tumblr, I'm cracking up. So the days of Tumblr, they were like sugar babies and like a thing called freestyling. So I have sex worker friends. We would go out. Sometimes we go out just because we want to be bad bitches and just go out and drink. But it turns into like meeting and running into somebody who, guy want to buy a drink, starts a conversation. It could elevate from there. And then the days of the internet, originally being on Craigslist, the days of Backpage, having a sex worker Twitter and Instagram. There's a few websites like the Facebook of Fetish, which is called FetLife. FetLife, I just keep it just to kind of use as a portfolio of my photos and what I do. And then there's groups you can join about specific kinks and interests. And then local events. So that's another thing. So I don't know, like I'm almost certain if I look up in your area, there's probably like munches and swinger fetish clubs.
What's a munches?
A munch is basically like a lunch, like a little potluck almost, but you meet at like a restaurant or so. It's a very vanilla setting, so you're not going there clad.
It's the meet and greet before things get R-rated.
Yeah, so people like in the lifestyle could meet there and meet other people, because some people are intimidated to see a professional, or some people don't know where to start. So a munch is literally like, meet and greet, just going there, talking to other people. Hi, my name is John, and I've had a thing of cockball torture and that kind of
CBT therapy, if you will.
CBT therapy. It's funny when there's people who talk about CBT, and I'm like, oh fuck, there's another meaning to that.
Yeah. Oh, you're in the industry. Got it.
Oh, God, you're in the life? Oh, what do you do? And they're like, yeah, I have depression. Oh.
So I met you on Instagram. When I first met you on Instagram, one of the top posts was like this old white dude strapped to a pretty much a wooden stake in the ground. And there were either marks on his tummy or marks on his back. And I was really like, what the fuck is this? And then I think I immediately just sent the image to you or commented on it or something. And then you just sent me a voice memo being like, yeah, I got paid to do that. And I was like, wow, okay. That seems like the dream job. What's that? Tell me about that.
Okay, so he's actually one of my devoted bitches. He's a devoted. He's like, if he was here right now, he'd be like, yeah, I'm Ava's bitch. He takes really good punishment, takes really good pain. We actually met from one of the like pages, those web social media outlets, and it got to talking. Like he didn't meet me from like finding my professional advert, and it literally just was like, all right, we met, and this is the fun like Philly guy. That's what makes it funny. We met he was like, all right, we're gonna meet and then we're gonna have a session. We met at the fucking Eagles game.
Nice.
Go Birds. We met at the Eagles game. We watched the game. I forgot Eagles versus who. I can't even ring it. It's not even ringing a bell right now. It was Eagles versus something. Oh shit, it'll come to me the other day. And it just led to that. And I like him because I get like he has a good tolerance. It's good communication. And like that picture, actually, me and my friends, we take a little trip out just once a week, like one week at the end of like the summer, just to get away, relax, unwind. And he came down, and it was at the beach, actually. Get naked, made him hug the whatever that thing called that, and just whip the ever loving shit out of him. And he loved it. He's great. And we do it now every year. It's a family trip.
He goes every year to get whipped on the beach?
Sometimes he can't make it due to obligations, but Why not? Why not get your ass beat? I got videos of our most recent trip. I'll send them to you, no problem.
Sick. Hell yeah.
We
Hell
was
yeah.
walking along the beach, and I'm like, take your pants down, and I just whoop his ass. It's just, and it's great. It's therapeutic. We're
And this
by
shit
the
juices him up. This
ocean.
is like his shit right there. That's why he's in the
That's
beach in
his
the first
shit.
place.
Yeah, he that's his shit. So you have people who are naturally submissive. You have people who, like big alpha, kind of thing, and they just have those like secret or just under desire. So this is him. He is he's bigger than me, which makes it funny. I am very short. I'm a stocky girl, but I'm short. He is 6'3", 6'2", 6'3". So it's just so funny have like when it's just funny sometimes in session when I have these really big guys who can they melt in my little hands, and he's one of them. And yeah, just his thing is he loves to be punished. That's like his thing. He craves punishment. He likes to be in the place of servitude. He it's his thing. It's his thing. And like I don't scream. I'm loud. I'm loud as shit. But with him, normally I have really long fingernails, but like I'll just click my nails and he's like, yes, I'm right here. What you need? Hey, like a fucking chihuahua.
You said something interesting I'm curious about. Would you say that a majority of the people that are like, I want to be punished, I want to be hurt, do you have that I'm a tough guy, I'm an alpha kind of mentality outside of that?
Some of these people, yeah. Some people they're like naturally timid and it's not, some people are naturally timid. And then yeah, you have some people who, yeah, they're like, I have a job where I'm the boss. I am type A personality. I'm that nigga. But behind closed doors are like, yeah, I'm not that nigga for real. I was playing.
Put me on a pole on the beach. I'm so tired. I should just be on a pole on a beach by now.
Just make me suck your feet, please.
And how long? So this guy's a client of yours for a long time.
He's been devoted for quite some time, over since 2016, 2017. Yeah, he's been around for quite some time.
Wow. And you travel for this work too?
I do. Occasionally I will kind of, sometimes I just boomerang the whole Northeast. So like Delaware, Jersey, New York State, Connecticut, all stuff like that. And then other times I will fly out to other places. Internationally, I'm dabbling my toes into my so I really there's a place in New York that has the dungeon style is really how I like it. Real gritty, and it's just great. It's great. And Dominatrix, friend of mine, who was like, yeah, that's Berlin, babe, like we should go, let's go. And I'm like, Berlin it is. So I am planning a Berlin trip I want to go for like 2 weeks. 2 weeks.
Nice. And work out there or just enjoy it?
Both.
Okay, hell yeah.
Why not? See what it has to offer. Like, so surprisingly, people like I like rock. So I really want to hear a lot of these like metal bands that are in Europe. I want to really get into those. Here, like just go to actual event, see if there is events. Like the underground parties, those are always the best. Mm-hmm. Try like international like beers and stuff. A friend of mine actually went and he was like, they have a lot of American things, like a lot of Western cuisine. You will be surprised. I was like, really? He had took a cruise along. A cruise along like Europe. I think it was like Amsterdam or some stuff like that. And he was like, yeah, there's a lot of places that have like McDonald's. You're gonna see a lot of McDonald's, and like I saw that in Manchester, but it was like he's like, no, it's really crazy out, and like you're thinking you're gonna go to Germany and get like whatever, or Sweden and you're gonna find a lot of McDonald's and Pizza Huts and stuff. And I was like, I don't want that. I want to try the other stuff. Give a bitch some haggis. See what it's about. Have you been anywhere?
Not like Berlin or anything like that. No way. Yeah, no way. I met I met this guy that played like country music in Texas, and he's in a super small band outside of Denton called I can't remember what they were called. But he in Berlin, he's like a cowboy, and so he had a residency and made great money, and so he lived in Berlin for a long time because they like American shit so much. They were like, dude, you're a cowboy, and he's like, yeah, back home I'm not a Live to Reason, I think is what they're called. Not like a Lift to Experience or something like that. They're not like a popular band at all. You know, maybe sold a few thousand records in the early 2000s or something. But in Berlin, baby, he's a cowboy. He's okay. You're cool. Your pistols in the air. That's awesome to us. And so, is this your first time doing European work out there? Your trip coming up?
Will be my first time. So like
Nice.
that's what I'm a little excited about. That's also I'm really excited about that because I really just want to I can't even, I don't have the nails. Normally you hear like
the clickies.
I don't. Yeah, if you look at my pictures, you'll see I have these like extreme length fingernails, and I get people who have have a fetish for long nails. I like long nails just because of the style, and I'm really a techie person, so like I like long, like elaborate fingernails. But I've learned through the years that there's people who are like people who like feet. There are people who like long fingernails. They like hands, like the fetish is a spectrum. It's not just like I like this and that. There's like
I was shocked to find out how many people are into feet. I didn't know it was such a common thing until I found out a guy I knew was into feet, and I was just making fun of him a little. I said, I was like, feet juice you up? And his friend goes, well, I mean, is it weird that thighs would make someone else horny? I was like, oh shit, it's both of you guys because you defended it, and I was like, and they were like, yeah, we like it. It juices up. That's what gets us going. Blew me away how common it is. Is that probably the most common fetish that you run into? Is people liking feet?
It's pretty common, very, very common. There was a business here in like Southeast PA, Jersey, some in New York, Delaware. It was called Bare Feet Shoes. The problem with Bare Feet Shoes was when you search bare feet, if you did not put shoes, it took you to a foot fetish website. So I think that's why they changed their name to a whole nother company. But yeah, feet was like the easiest. Like that's like, I'm not the easiest, but it's very common. Now you're seeing since the explosion of social media, you're seeing a lot of feet girls. But yeah, you'll get a lot of people who are in the feet in different kinds of ways. So you'll have people that are like, I like sweaty feet. I like feet with socks. I like, you'll have people that want to pay for like specific pedicures, watch you crush food with your feet, fuck your feet. There was like, yeah, there are people who like, they would either want you to stimulate them or they'll stimulate themselves. Just have your feet together. They're like people like getting abused by feet. Like the one video I reposted not too long ago was a young lady who she's laying on a guy's chest. She's just like the fuck out of his face with his feet, and he loved it. Yeah, it's really, really common how people like feet, and that's why when like some people get freaked out about it. In my head, I'm like, it's like an ass or tits guy. That's kind of like how feet is now. It's like ass or tits.
Sure. So that's what's the rarest? Well, I would say what's the least common thing that you've seen? What's the most out there one that you're like, wow, that's one of a kind?
I wouldn't say like one is one of a kind. I haven't met one yet. I think the most, I guess, extreme thing was there was a guy. He is in. I'm not going to go into details about his business, but he wanted me to brand him, but he wanted me to brand him. He's high pain tolerance. He wanted me to brand him in the gooch, the gooch,
the area between your balls and your
that nice little piece of skin. He wanted that
the boygina is what it's called. Yeah, absolutely.
I thought it was what's the bussy? What's considered the bussy in the
butthole? The boygina is the fold in between the butthole and the balls. That the gooch and the boygina synonyms. It's synonyms.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
All right. Yeah. But yeah, he wanted to brand, but the problem was it was like the hotel we were in. I'm like, I'm like, this might trip the smoke detectors. I'm like, let's do it outside. Let's do it in the open.
What did he want branded there?
He wanted me to like take this metal stick thing and I guess like put my name, and I was down for it because why not? There's another dominatrix who actually had a client bring a tattoo gun and tattoo like their name on a guy's gooch. So when this guy came to me, I was like, oh man, the girl could dream. So when this guy was like, so when he said, he's like, oh, I want to get it a brand. You could brand your name or brand whatever. And I was like, yeah, let's go. Do you have the supplies? And he pulls out these like little sticks and stuff, like this metal rod. He pulled out a torch lighter, and it was like is this gonna smoke? You got
He knew
a
before he
hairy
showed up he was
ass.
going to ask for a brand.
Yeah, like your ass is hairy. It's gonna stink up. This is my room. I don't want my room to stink. I ain't got no AZM on me right now, so let's do this outside. And he was like, "Oh, I can't be outside." So I was like, "All right, we can do it another time." So we wound up not doing it, but he was into like extreme CBT. So you'll have like sound rods.
That's terrifying. I didn't know what that was until I was like 15 or 16.
About sounding.
Oh yeah, it broke my heart finding out about that.
What do you mean? It's
I mean, because when I think about it, I imagine it happening to me. And if someone else gets juiced on it, I'm like, oh, that's great. But all I can think about is it happening to me. And it's always like an accident, like I fell and tripped on something, and it's like the most. That's probably one of my yeah. Yeah, it's scary. It's a scary thought. It is. But how far back can that hole go? How far can you sound down a man's? For those of you who don't know, for listeners involved, sounding is when you wanted to explain what sounding is.
So sounding is when you take an instrument. Most times it's a surgical steel rod. It can curve. It could be narrow at the top with a weight on the bottom. Some are even made of silicone. Some are made of glass. I never use glass. And you insert it into the urethra of either a man or a woman, whoever has it. You know what? Inside the urethra of a human, because not everybody identifies as their genitals. So yes, you will feel it's about the length of a straw. This is the best example. It's the length of the straw.
Yeah.
And when you insert it, you'll just know when to stop. There's nowhere else to go. So just you go.
Gets to the back of the back. That's the back of the thing right there.
Unless you have an abnormally long penis, it's going to stop. It's going to just there you go, and you can't push further because then we got to call 911.
Yeah, you got it lost inside. Sounds like a terrible scenario.
Oh gosh, yes.
Man, is that common? Sounding do more than, because I imagine that 1 out of a million. But is that something that you've come across more than once?
Not more than more than once, but not like often. But
it's a rarity. It's one of the rarer ones. Yeah, it's not like a feet guy.
Yeah, so you do have people who are into sounding or curious about sounding. So that's why, if you search a sounding set, they have let me see, can I do it here just to kind of so okay, I'm sharing my business with you. Don't you love it?
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So where is it? WhatsApp videos. Here we go. So as you can see right here in this video, that is a sound set.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So it comes in different sizes. And, you obviously don't want to start with the largest size because that could cause some major injuries. But, you don't start with like the thinnest one or like the second, the third one. Just, kind of gauge, hey, do this.
That largest size looks like the type of straw you'd get at like a boba place.
It is. It actually is. So there you go. Whenever you go to suck on some boba, do know that there's a rod similar to it to put into a pee hole. And then they have like the silicone ones. They have like nodules on it, like little, like the size of boba. That when you're going in, they can feel the little ridges. So you gotta be well ridged. Yeah, they have some that like have ridges on them. There's like ones that have like a little J. There's, like I said, there's ones that are straight. There's one that's kind of curved.
I can't even imagine the sensation, and honestly, not in a curious way. That's probably the most square thing about me is I'm not even curious. But I can't even imagine the sensation that must, especially a ribbed sounding rod. You know what? More power to him. Good job, guy. You're more of a soldier than I'll ever be.
Salute the troops.
Yeah, thank you for your service.
Thank you. Because without you, how would we know? Yeah, you have some who like to have weights dangle on their like dangle on their balls. Like you tie their balls up or like I have a vice grip. Do I have a picture? See, now you got me want to go do my picture some more. There's you hang weights on them, like fishing lead weights. The heaviest I've gone was taking like a purse about this big, and it wasn't full. We had like kind of the contents of here, and just little dangle and stretch the
weight
ball.
To it, sure, yeah,
little weights swinging like a pendulum, a little dance.
How long have you been in this line of work for?
I've been in the lifestyle since I was a teenager. I've been in this line of work since I've been in the adult industry since I was 17.
Okay.
So like I'm not here to like promote like, hey kids. But yeah, I originally started in the strip club and then well, first I had a boyfriend who was into being peed on in high school. And it was so funny when he one day was like, I had like I'm a girly girl, so I love makeup. So he one day was like, hey, um, can I talk to you? And I was like, yeah. And like he just looked so like he wanted like something was bothering him. So I was like, what's up? And he's like, you know how when you know what R. Kelly did? And I was like, what do you mean what did R. Kelly do? Yeah,
Which
I know
thing? Yeah.
it
which,
sing.
which thing are you talking
Let
about?
me sing for you. So he was like, no, you know what he did to that girl. So then I kind of was taking it back. I said, yeah, what you mean? Yeah, I know what he did to that girl. Why? What's the conversation about that? So he was like, oh, I know you were looking at these DC sneakers, and if you want them, I'll get them for you. You know, I just was wondering if like one day if we're together, could you pee on me? And I was like, put some sneakers. Nigga, I gotta pee right now. Let's go. Let's go. And it just turned into a nonstop thing. I remember my mom looked at me like I was crazy. Come like just imagine I'm in high school and broke as shit, don't got no job, and I got MAC makeup. I had a BlackBerry Pearl, and
All from pissing
I
on a guy.
all from pissing on my boyfriend. I mean, this boy was working double time to the best of his abilities at a Wendy's so that your girl could get things. All I had to do was pee, and I'm like,
His money turned straight to piss. Went from paycheck to piss immediately.
paycheck to piss. It was like it wasn't even like he got a paycheck anymore. They just flushed the toilet, and he's like, yes. But my mom's friend, she was in active. She was active in the adult industry, and I was telling her about it one day, and she was like, "Oh, you ever thought about?" You know, she first was like, "You ever thought about being a fluffer?" And I was like, "What the fuck is a fluffer?" So she explained. I was like, "Oh, I don't know about
What's a
that."
fluffer?
So like in professional, well, when you're filming content, it's to help the male actor, be ready.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
no, fluffer
So
as in like on a set. I didn't know
yeah,
that was a real job. I thought that was made up for
I
porn
didn't know.
plot lines.
Yeah, so I was like, I'd be a fluffer. I don't know about that. She was like, oh, well, you know, yeah, that's fetish. And I was like, well, what the fuck is that fetish? I don't know. I said, listen, I'm just peeing on him so I can get some shit.
What's a fetish? I'm just pissing for DC sneakers. What
I'm
are you
just,
talking
I
about?
mean, I did not believe in this man. I remember I peed on him, and like a few days later, he has a Journeys bag in it. No, he didn't have a Journeys bag in his hand. He had a bag in his hand. I think it was Journeys. Was it Journeys? Probably not. But he just, and the inside was that black box. I was like, oh, is this for me? But God, the years of 2000, 2006, 2007, those were a time. Um, yeah, so it just led to that, and then I remember like yeah, I didn't know what the fuck I was doing, didn't know where the fuck I was going, and I remember being inside of like strip club, and like it was this one guy who was like, "Oh, I want you to step on me," like you know you pay for private dances,
Mhm.
and he was like, "I want you to step on me, I want you to step on me," and I'm like, okay.
And how long is
So
this after the pissing that you're stepping on, guys?
literally it was like we like 16 like 15 16 I was dating this guy, and then we actually broke up when I was 18. So but I started like 17, I started in the club. Like 18 is when I
And you
kind of
started a
started.
club at 17, or did you have a fake ID or something, or they just didn't care?
It was a hood club. They didn't give a
Okay.
fuck. You got fat butt, you got $50, all right, you can come dance. I didn't know
Mhm.
what the fuck I was doing in that bitch. I didn't know what I was doing. It was a shot in the dark, and they literally was like, how old are you? And I'm like, I'll be 18 soon. And it was, and he was
And they said,
like,
well, we got some guys that need to be fucking stepped on in there, so you better get your
he
ass
was
in
like,
there.
yeah. So like that, I was like interacting with like girls in the club and kind of learning like the area, the game, and how to do stuff like that. And funny enough, before all of that, my mom used to always call me. My mom used to like again being small. My mom used to basically refer to me as like a bully. She's like, "You always talk down to people, Ava. You always talk down to people. It's like you always so mean. You always so mean. You're like I was a tomboy or whatever." So come to find out, apparently all of that shit kind of pays off. Or it worked for it worked in my favor
Being a
because I'm
mean
like,
girl is actually good for my
and
career.
look at me, mom. I became something in life. Proud. So yeah, it just kind of, and I wasn't even a nice stripper. It was just like, you got the money? Okay. Like, I'm not gonna stay and talk to you. Like, what?
Mhm.
So yeah, just remember I went to another club and it was like kind of near the like the center city area because this club was like in the hood. This other club was like near the center city area. So like it was near a couple like hotels and stuff. So I guess this guy was in there and just like, hey, or maybe he lived around there. I don't know. Didn't care. He just the elder girls used to be like, oh, he weird because he like feet. He weird because he like feet. And I'm like, what's wrong with touching your feet? And again, got my little laptop and I'm studying, like looking up fetish, and that's what I learned, like being on like this website called Collar Space. That thing is long gone, but like
What was it
being
called?
on Collar Space, like MySpace, but it's
Uh-huh.
called Collar Space.
Collars. Oh, like collar,
Yeah,
like a dog
collar.
collar or a fetish
Yeah,
collar. Sure.
yeah. So it's called Collar Space, and I was, God, there is. So I guess the previous owner and developer kind of fell out. So Collar Space is long gone. There's a new website called Collar Me, and it's so dated. If you ever go and look on it yourself, it's so dated. Bless its heart. So like being on there and Google and the other like Set Life and stuff like that. That's how I kind of was learning stuff. And then also Craigslist, because Craigslist was still the men seeking women, women seeking
Oh yeah,
men,
Craigslist used to be
casual.
wild, huh?
Yeah, it used to be a wild ass place. So like, I got 500 roses to see a girl. I got that kind of thing.
When I was
So
16, I made an ad on Craigslist. I don't think I've ever told anyone this. So when I was 16, I made an ad on Craigslist and I said, having a very fancy dinner and I need topless women to serve dinner at this fancy dinner, $500 per job, send in topless headshot and resume. And I didn't get a single response. But I remember being 16 and being like, I'm going to get titty photos.
I'm about to get some ass
It
on
didn't
this.
work. I think anyone with half a brain read that and was like, yeah, this is a creepy 16-year-old. This is a
Yeah,
lonely teenager right here.
This is some lonely
But
guys, some losers
Craigslist
trying
let
to
me
get
try it.
Oh,
Craigslist never even
Craig,
flagged the ad.
when Craigslist used to have pictures, just logging on, and you'll see like some guy goatseeing talk about the discreet middle-aged man in Plymouth meeting.
That's
Love
the
to
least
meet.
discreet ad I've ever seen.
Least discreet ads. Sir, you're watching Fox 29. I know what day and time it was. Like you're not even trying. Grandma's pictures in the middle corner. Like, come on. So yeah, that's kind of how it was. I was like, when this guy was talking about feet, I'm like, what the hell? Nothing wrong with some feet. Like, and it just kind of went from there. Like, oh, you come in, rather than pay for private dance, you just like touch your feet, smell your feet, smell the shoe. And I was like, this ain't bad.
Did that
This
pay
ain't too
more
bad.
or less than like a typical private dance?
A little more because yeah, well, with a private dance, it varies for girls. So sometimes they'll just pay for the dance, and then some like, oh, private dance costs this much, so you'll get money off that. Other times it'll be like they'll tip more in there. So it just kind of transformed into that. And then one day he was just like, oh, could you come? I'm gonna be in Center City at the hotel, and I'm like, I'm not fucking you for no money. And he was like, oh no, it's not for that. And then I was like, okay, I'll meet you outside and go in the room and clean empty room. And again, I am young and stupid as shit. This is gonna kill me. And in the room, it's nothing. He just laid there naked. He's like, just step on me, wear your shoes, step on. Like he's like showing me where to step on. He's like, oh, step here, step there. With no shoes, you can step here, and that was about it. It kind of became a recurrent thing. And then that's when I just started like really kind of dabbling into like buying, just spending endless amounts of money on equipment, floggers, paddles, whips, buying. It was an older dominatrix at the time, and at first I thought she was being a bitch, but she was actually really like helpful. She was like, listen, if you're really serious about this, don't you like you just want to be some bitch with some boots on, or do you really want to like indulge in this? You really need to invest in it, and it's because it's a lifestyle. It's not just some people do things for a check, but she's like, this is really a lifestyle. You really have to understand that what you're doing could put people at risk. What you could put yourself at risk. So, and she was like, you got 6 months, and that's it. You literally got less than that. Buy what you need to buy, and if you don't have it by 6 months, yeah, go back to shaking ass on the pole. And it was like,
Mhm.
okay, all right. At first, I was like, this lady's a bitch. Fuck her. And then it was like, oh no, she was right. So I started posting on Backpage. Backpage used to be the shit. Let me tell you. Any girl who posted on Backpage knows for a fact Backpage was the shit. You made you a coin. And it was like, there's always traffic. You'll get the people who are wasting your time trying to get free like spank material, but you really if you were like professionally any kind like being an escort, being a dominatrix, being whatever, you picked up there like a lot of business. And then there's like other websites you can advert on. So that's how, then going to swinger clubs and swinger fetish clubs and meeting other people, munches, meeting other doms, meeting other like dominatrixes, and then masters, male, masculine presenting dominance. It became, here I am. Ta-da!
So it's not just like paycheck. This is like you enjoy it.
I actually do enjoy it. I actually do. That's why now with the one guy who's naked on the pole, we do, we like that. It becomes, you have some people who you see professionally. It's like, okay, pay me, go. And then there's some where they become like a part of your life. And this bitch became part of my life. So I actually do enjoy getting to explore and learn more things and to try things out and to, I actually have fun with what I do and I actually enjoy what I do. And that's why I'm moving I'm trying to have my house, well, not my whole house, but a part of my house, a part of my private space, because I want to actually indulge in it more than what I'm doing now.
Mm-hmm. Would you say it's more common or less common than like a traditional escort? Because like you saying, this started as like a business transaction and now you're a part of my life. I enjoy my presence with you. You enjoy it with me. And we have kind of, we mutually benefit from each other. And there's that transaction on top of it. And like, I think that probably happens with all types of escorts. Would you say that the more like extreme or kink stuff is more common for that kind of overlap to happen than it would be for like a traditional like escort experience?
No, not everybody. Not everybody. Some people keep it exclusively transactional, like exclusively like it's professional setting, and then some people there are some people who like they've built the actual relationship, gotten married. There are people who have married. They're submissive or they not married. They just have a partnership, a union, and they live together. So then you have some that are like mine, where it's like it's almost like a friendship. Yeah, it's like a friendship. I won't even lie to you. It's like a friendship. And recently there was a person, a dom, who made a post that was like, you need to turn your dom card in if you're growing a bond with your slaves. And I was like, and a lot of us were in the comment section are like, bitch, what are you talking about?
I would imagine that seems like a pretty personal interaction to have, right?
Yeah.
I don't think it's uncommon to have some sort of bond there, right?
Yeah. You'll have some that like there's some people who like this is cathartic for them. And then you're not just some, they walk in the room and like the dynamic immediately begins. Like, however, some shake, how you doing? Kind of thing. But some is like immediately goes down to it. Some like you start a conversation, you kind of find out you have a common interest, or they do something that is so interesting that you start, like me, I'll start to ask questions and get to learn like who they are. Then you have those who they like how they start off like the introductory email when they like contact you. How you doing? My name is Slave. I'm making up names. None of these names are real. My name is Slave Andy. I'm 45 years old. I'm handsome. I'm fit. I'm a doctor at Mercy Health. I have a dog. He's a beagle. His name is Kip Kip. And it's like, okay, thank you. I'm so glad to know that you're the second oldest. That's great. So you'll have those who will like give you their whole life story. And then some, when they like you're actually setting up an appointment, like you kind of bring it up. Like sometimes they'll say something, you're like, so in your email you said, and then some, it's not for a session. They'll like want to go out with you. Like obviously you gotta pay for that time, but like go out for lunch or like go out for coffee or drinks, and you start to have an actual conversation. You learn this person is a person, and they might have went to the same college as you, and especially if they're older. Oh, so what was college like for you then compared to when I went to college? Living from the same neighborhood. This guy, he doesn't live in Philadelphia anymore. My bitch, he doesn't live in Philadelphia anymore. He actually moved a little bit further south. So I guess what drew him to me, one, was being a Philly girl. Two, we got to talking, come to find out, I didn't live in the neighborhood he's from, but I was familiar with the neighborhood. So it turned into like sometimes us just linking up to like just explore the areas and oh, I remember when this was this and this was that. So yeah, it happens. It actually happens with a lot. You know, personalized gifts and they remember something about you. If you tell your details, because sex work is fantasy at the end of the day. So a lot of us don't really reveal a lot of us to them, but some we kind of do. And out of the professional setting into the personal setting, you know, again, when it becomes personal, yeah, you start to reveal a little bit more about you. Yeah, you know, little personal bonds. It's cute. It's really, I like it. I like it. So there's some people who I'm like, it's A and B, that's it. And then there's some that are like, things develop.
Would you say being a dominatrix is like your ideal career? Is it like, this is what I was meant to do, I've wanted to do it since I first got into it, or?
It was, I honestly, I'm not gonna lie, like being a 90s kid, I wanted to be a bimbo. Like, I wanted to be some fat Persian man's wife, plastic to the teeth. My mom wanted me to be a prosecuting attorney. She's like, you got the mouth for it. You got the everything for it. You're mean as shit. You should be an attorney. I think you should do that. But I think that's everybody's mom. They want to be like a doctor or a lawyer. My mom's like, you're gonna be a prosecutor or a judge.
Something that sounds good on Facebook, right?
Yeah, I'm like, look at my daughter. This is my daughter Ava, and she is. And I was like, yeah, mom, I don't know about that. No, but I know, like looking at like Pamela Anderson and stuff like that. And I know it's like so and Nicole Smith. I'm like, I want big basketball boobs, and I just want to be brain dead and cute. But it was like I can't see myself just like being a pushover. I can't see myself, you know, I can't see myself doing all that stuff. Like not the, but like the, I don't know, some of the aspects of like being looked at like a ditz. But I wanted to be like a glamour girl, I guess. That's the way to put it. I wanted to be a glamour girl, something where I could be pretty and like it would work for me. But then it was like, I don't know what the hell happened. I don't know what happened. I'm fucking butts for money.
Nice.
I'm fucking butts for money. But I get to wear my nails, I get to wear my clothes, I get to still do the shit I like. Ba ba boom. But now that I'm here, I like it. So funny enough, I do have a regular 9 to 5 job. I'm a forklift operator.
Oh, nice.
So watch out, kids. Watch out. You hear this, everybody? You hear this, audience? You did not know this whole time you've been in a room with a certified forklift operator.
I could tell it was something impressive. I didn't know it was that.
Yeah, I know. Please put your penis back in your pants. I don't have to pull out my keys. But yeah, I actually operate forklifts for a living. Like, it's fun. It's like to pick stuff up, put stuff down, and drive around. Do I violate OSHA codes from time to time inside of a warehouse? Maybe. Because
OSHA's are recommendations. They're not laws. Yeah.
It's not like, yeah, somebody comes in with a badge, fuck them. But yeah, like to look around and see that like a lot of the things I own, a lot of things I do was paid for by this line of work is actually very impressive. And to learn, like to start to learn myself, like learn about myself and things I like, and to explore things, have a curiosity at 31, still have like curiosities and fascinations of things, and being able to indulge in them in the spectrum of fetish. It's impressive. It's impressive, and it makes me really, really happy. Like even now I'm like anxiously, like Christmas Day, I order all this new latex and I'm like, yay, just because I love it. And then I'm gonna go out to New York, and I have to buy a new dildo. It's not a functioning dildo, but I guess when people see it, they think it is. It's gonna be like this. I have an old picture, but it's like the size of my arm, and I damaged the last one, so I have to buy another one. So
how'd you damage the last one?
Acetone. So I do my own nails. I had an open bottle of acetone, and it kind of knocked over onto it, and it melted it. So it was like, This is where the dreams of becoming a bimbo slowly start to creep out sometimes. So I was like, how did you have this open? The fetish, it's like the medieval times, the ankle stocks.
Ankle
Okay.
stocks.
You know what I'm about to do. Where is that?
Are you going to show ankle stocks? I imagine it's like handcuffs, but for ankles.
Yeah. So not
You're going to pull up a photo?
I have a photo. Where the hell is it? Is it here? It should be here. Sorry, I'm showing you a lot of crap. So yeah, there's this next. There we go. This bad boy.
Oh wow! It's like the type of stocks where like you'd see like a guy in medieval times
Yeah.
getting tomatoes thrown at him.
Yeah. So there is somebody, and this is another fascinating thing about this line of this like lifestyle is that you have people that are really handy and crafty. So there's an actual guy who is near like Scranton, PA, and he has a wood shop, and he was like, I can make that for you. I was like, oh. So when I go to New York, he's going to meet me in New York to get me that. So I have
all I gotta do is piss on him.
Let me get these pants down fast. So So yeah, he's like, oh, I have a wood shop. I make stuff from time to time. But he's like, I was like, oh, this is what I want. And I remember I talked about it on my Twitter page. I was like, I'm looking for this specific thing. And I got an email, and he was like, how you doing? I'm in Scranton. I'm close to Philly, but not. And I have a wood shop, and I can actually make that for you. And I was like, oh, really? And he's like, yeah, just give me a couple weeks, and I'll have it done. And lo and behold, he has it done. So I'm actually eager to go pick it up. Now the one he's making is the one that's like plain. It doesn't have the leather padding. So I'm debating if I want to put the leather padding on, or like something similar to on that part, or I'm still working on modifications on it. But yeah, this is where it becomes fun. And I'm also in the process of learning how, like, needle play, which is...
What's that?
Oh, it's the art of inserting needles into your body.
What it sounds like, okay?
Yeah, this is here we go. Needle play.
Like just putting needles straight into...
Like under your skin, like puncturing your skin. I'm really... There's you ever see the extreme body mod videos of people like putting hooks under their flesh and like suspended by hooks? So it's like that, but it is
it's like the Diet Coke of that.
It's like the Splenda Coke Zero version of needle play. Wait, can you see it? Wait, was it showing it? How about now?
Oh wow, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
And they're even tying like corsets.
Little ribbons. Yeah, oh, yeah. Adorable. So there's an actual mistress here based in Philly who this is her expertise, and she has courses and classes where she teaches how to safely and properly work with needles and the human flesh. And that is, I'm excited to actually start trying out. I look like fun. Start posting that up.
Wow. Another tool to add to your another thing to add to your repertoire.
Right to the menu. Like, hey, what are you into? Please step to the side. Here you go. All the options, sides, alternatives, a fetish.
So do you want this to be your primary source of income, or do you always want it to be just kind of a passion that you have?
That's a good question. Honestly, yes and no. Like, I wouldn't mind this. I wouldn't mind this being a primary source of income, but I definitely want to I want to keep this as a passion. But like, if I can make money off of it, shit, why not? And like person cuts grass, hey, fuck it. Make me money, go make me money. Yeah. But as an actual personal passion, I love it.
So the lifestyle is a priority for you, not necessarily the job security.
Yeah, like this is job security. Anybody like make money? Shit, the world's burning. Everything's expensive. We need some money. We're broke. Niggas is broke. So the job security is good. I won't sit there and talk too much trash and be like, I don't need this money, peasant. No, I like the money, but yeah, if I could have this where it's like, this is my week. This is how my week is going to lay out for me. And this is what I want to do for like Tuesdays. I'm just hoping to really just do this. Friday, I'm hoping to really just do that. I don't mind that, but now I gotta Monday. Sorry, so I got somebody scheduled for this day, that day, this day, that day, and that's another thing I try to tell people who want to get into adult work of any spectrum. You're not guaranteed to make money every day, all day. So if you think that you're gonna come here and just be swimming in money like Mr. Scrooge, you're not. Scrooge McDuck.
I'll never forget the amount of women in 2020 that went to OnlyFans thinking that they were just going to make tons of money, and then would post like, I don't know what happened. And it's like, well, yeah, you don't have a lot of followers. Yeah.
Who are you, baby? And I was telling people that, I was like, it's money to be made. It's always money to be made. I always try to tell people though, like, listen, it's like when people who are SoundCloud robbers, it's not, you're not going to just come onto the scene and then immediately I'm gonna blow up. This is it. No, it's not. You, along with 30 other people within that day, are making the same account, kind of doing the same stuff. You have to market. You got to market yourself. You're coming in as an unknown factor. So nobody knows who you are. Nobody knows what you're doing. Nobody knows what you have to offer. It's not like a brick and mortar store. And even then, brick and mortar stores have to advertise newspapers and billboards. So that was the same thing. And that was a lot of the arguments I had in 2020 when it was like when the pandemic started and people are like, I'm going to make an OnlyFans. I'm like, shit, good luck. What do you mean? What do you mean?
Should deliver for Domino's. Trust me. You should,
yeah,
you should just go deliver for Domino's. You'll make more money quicker. I promise.
Target, I promise you, $15 an hour, and they're giving out overtime because you're about to be staring at your phone all day getting pissed because you're not raking in the people like you thought. And and then the fear of the virus, which, let me tell you, the pandemic did not stop sex work. Like IRL sex work, it did not stop. There were people seeing people. There were people seeing me. I was seeing people, I'll admit, in 2020 at the height of the pandemic. And I was telling girls, I said, listen, the only way you're going to actually make some money, again, if you're not building the way, like, digitally, is going out there and actually interact with people. I'm not doing that. Well, then, I don't know what you want me to do. What you want me to say? What you want me to say? Again, do you need help filling out an application? Because
that's your best bet right now.
That is just literally set in stone for you right now, is to just go out there and get a job, because this is not going to work. And you're crying about, oh, I'm not in the top 0.38%. Who are you?
You won't be for a while. Yeah, it's gonna take some
for
momentum.
A while, you're competing, because then it was like influencers known before the pandemic they're gonna top above you. There's like Black China. She was like that kind of thing. So it's like, babe, you're competing with this unless you have. And like, I could go on for days about this, like how I was trying to what do I know? I don't know nothing. I'm just here with my mug, my butt plugs, and that's it. I don't know nothing. You do your thing, babe. Call me in 2 months when you made nothing.
Yeah, it sounds like you knew enough to be right? That's to be correct. That's the fact.
But I definitely didn't make no OnlyFans.
Usually I would say, like, okay, let's close this out by plugging your social medias. Do you want to plug your social medias or?
Oh, sure. You can follow me on Instagram at no, shoot, that got closed. My bad. You can follow me on Twitter at Dominatrix Kane, Kane. You can find me on Instagram at Miss Ava Kane, and if you're on FetLife, you can find me at Ava Kane, AvaKane. I'm there. My butthole's there too. So.
Awesome. Firstly, thank you so much for coming on the show. Robert texted me and he said his apartment actually got flooded, so that's why he's not here.
Oh no, Robert.
I know. Well, he's going to be a soldier and get through this one too. But you have provided a very interesting perspective on a very interesting lifestyle, and I really appreciate you coming and telling about it.
Literally, if you ever want to talk just like off record or whatever, I got stories for days. Oh gosh, my favorite guy. I don't know whatever happened to him. I don't know. You can put this in the pockets. I don't care. He used to smoke. A well-known drug in the 80s and get defecated on.
Really? He would want to burn down hard and get pooped on?
Oh yeah, I will. I'll send it your way. I'll send
Do
it.
you
I'll
poop on him?
personally send. Oh, I poop on people. I do
You
scat.
pooped on people?
I do scat. Oh yeah. What? That
Wow.
that's the thing. A lot of people won't do it because it's like messy and the time it takes to like prepare for the session. Oh, I'll shit on you. I don't care. I'll shit on you real fast. So you want to shit in your mouth? I'll shit in your mouth. Make you eat it. Shit on your body. Shit all over you. I don't
You've
mind.
seen people eat their own poop.
I've seen people like we'll do a video session and you'll see people eat like shit in the toilet, eat the shit,
Really?
or eat my shit. I've had sessions where people eat my shit.
Really? And they get juiced. They love it. They're happy to be eating
They
your poop.
love it. They fucking love it. That's their thing, you know. They all different kinds of shit. They like hard, like a solid log. Or there was one guy, and it was like, I can't do it too much, bro, because that's gonna mess up my body. He wanted me to take laxatives because he kind of liked it when it was like a little runny, like a little loose and
He
runny.
said,
So
don't give
like,
me none of that hard doo-doo.
don't give me
Only
none of
that
that hard
soft
shit,
stuff.
baby. Give me I want that
Make it easy for me.
make it easy. I want to swim in it. And like, yeah, I remember this was my first trip in New York. First trip in New York and Backpage and all that shit like that. And the guy hit me up and he was like, oh, I'm in a scat. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. Gave him like we settled out everything, rates, all that shit like that. We set up. So he says, I have one special request. I prefer women who have diarrhea because I like the texture. And it was like, okay, well, I don't have diarrhea. He's like, if you can't, you can also just take like a laxative, because I kind of just that's the preferred texture. I was like, okay, that's cool. And I remember I was in New York, so I was hyped. My first time in New York, like actually in New York, and I'm there, gonna be there for like a while. And I remember I indulged crazy the day before, and no, like a few days there. So boom, the day before the session, I said, I don't have diarrhea. Like, I don't know how to trigger diarrhea. So homegirl mom was like, just take a laxative. And I was like, cool. How soon will it work? She says, take the laxative. It'll work overnight, and you'll be ready for, like in time for the session. Cool. And he comes in, and I had trash bags laid on the floor. So I had trash bags and dog pads, like dog urination pads. And he laid down, and I was like, okay, I took the laxative. I gotta go, but it's not working. Not working. Like, I'm like getting mad. So I was like, how can I trigger this? So I go to text my friend. I said, give me a second. I gotta get baby wipes. And I text my friend. I said, it's not working. She says, just eat something. Eat something real fast. So I said, boom, eat something. So we're talking. Oh, you're from Philly? Yeah, yeah. Oh, you're from New York? Where you live in New York? Like that kind of thing. So like, all right, boom. My stomach now starting to rumble like boots in the dryer. I'm like, all right, you ready? So he lays on the floor and it just starts going. And I'm like, please don't get on this carpet. I don't care about nothing else. Just don't get on the carpet. How am I going to explain to housekeeping, hey, there's shit on the carpet? And I laid out a lot of bags, and never gonna forget the hotel either, because this hotel in the Hilton Hotel, and it's not too far from United Nations, and it had like it's pretty big, so like I had floor space, and he was loving it, like rubbing it into him. So I'm squatting over him. Yeah, he was naked.
And he said, I'm gonna get naked and rub poop on me. God bless him.
Every session is, except for like those who wear like specific garments, it's always clothed female, naked male. So I make the men get naked. Once, it's like, all right, get undressed, take your clothes off, I'll rip their clothes off them. So you're always naked. The man is always naked most times, unless they're like, they got like a gimp suit, like a suit, or like a dog hood or a mask or something like that. So yeah, that was my first scat session somewhere outside of Philly, because I had scat sessions in Philly because some girls was like, I'm not pooping on people. I could never. And I'm like, I gotta shit all the time. I'll shit on them. Send them my way. But that was my first like abnormal session. So we did it a few times, but it was like I knew the effects of like, laxatives. So I was like, I can't, always do that. I wonder how he's doing. I hope,
I hope he's well.
I hope he's well. I hope he's blessed. But yeah, the one guy, he was interesting. He was real chill. He talked about his life in another state, but it was just he came to Philly. He came to Philly at least twice a month, and he literally like we can say this stuff though, right? Like say smoke crack.
Yeah, this is a podcast, so there's no rules.
Okay, cool. Okay, so no, this guy would smoke crack. He'll smoke like 3 grams of crack.
Oh wow, that's a
And
healthy amount of crack.
healthy amount of crack. And it like the funniest thing ever was there was somebody I was dealing with, like actual vanilla relationship with, and he's a little hood rat, so he knew people who sold drugs. I remember the first time I called him, because you have people who like to use drugs, or there's a thing called Rush, but they call it or poppers. But you can't say poppers, you have to say VCR cleaner or VHS
exactly.
cleaner. Yeah. So there's people who like Rush, and then there's people who do drugs, like snort cocaine, smoke weed, drink, and stuff like that. So this guy was like, he called me and he was like, hey, I like to party. And I was like, I don't party. And he was like, oh, okay, that's cool. Am I talking too much? Because I know I could talk to these.
No, you're not talking about. You're fine. Please keep telling the story.
Yeah. So that's how he called me. My number was listed at the time, so he called me. He's like, how you doing? My name is blank. And I said, okay. He's like, how you doing? My name is blank. I'm from blank. I come to Philadelphia at least 2-3 times a week for business. 2-3 times a month for business. I saw that you say you're a scat, that you do scat play. And I'm like, yes, I do scat play. And he's like, but I party. And I said, well, I don't party, but I welcome, that means drug use. I don't party, but I welcome it. But if you become a little too inebriated where you lose a lot of self-control, I do stop the session early. So he was like, oh no, I'm okay. I do it often. So he was like, the question is, I don't know who to talk to in Philly. Do you know anybody who sells crack cocaine? And I was like, this nigga a cop. He gonna have me booked. He talk about crack on the phone. He's like, I can send a deposit. I really just need like 2 grams of crack. So I tell the person I know, I said, hey, who you know selling hard right now? And he's like, huh? Why you need hard? So I told him about the phone call. So he's like, I know somebody. I said, the session's real. The guy sent the deposit. He's real. He sent me all his info. So he's serious about it. So we go, he drives me there. I got the crack, and I'm like, who? In my head, I'm like, I'm gonna go to jail. Please don't get us pulled over. This nigga's blasting music. He's driving fast. Listen, sir, I'm gonna need you, out of all times I welcome it, but this time I need you to stop at every stop sign. I need you to
drive like we have crack in the car.
Drive like we have 2 grams of crack cocaine in this car. Any other day, fuck them red lights. Fuck that funeral. Man, school zone do 35. But right now, sir, we have a felony amount of crack cocaine in this car.
Yeah, it's a life-changing amount of crack cocaine to get caught with, yeah.
And this man, we go into the room. Like, I go into the room, knock on the door, boom. He goes up with me, but he stays at the end of the hall. I go to the room. He comes in, and this guy is naked. And he's like, how you doing? He gets on the floor. He kneels towards me, and I'm like, oh, hi. So he's like, oh, it's over there. Like, he's like, show me where the money's at. And I'm like, okay. He's like, he said, you got it on you? And I'm like, got what? So he's like, oh. So he like kind of backs up and he cuts all the lights on. Like all the lights, like some of the lights on, but he cuts all the lights on. I guess it's showing me like, there's nobody here. And he's like, look, and he shows me like his crack pipe and his like, he has an actual crack pipe. And he has, because local corner stores and smoke shops sell crack pipes. So I don't know where he went, but he got a crack pipe, and it's already a little burnt. So he's already done something.
This isn't his first time doing crack in a hotel. Yeah.
It's not his first time doing crack in a hotel. See, now just not, because I'm like, you smoking in a hotel? You got it made in the shade, my man. So let me see. So he's sitting there and he is so this man is sitting here and he is just to show me. Did you catch that?
No, it just showed me. Were you showing me your screen?
Oh crap! I'll send it to you. I'll just send it to you private. So
Please.
No, he's there's on the table. There's already crack on the table. So I give it to him, and then he's like, "Where do you want to shit on me at? Like, do you want to shit on me on the bed? Do you want to shit?" Mind you, then in my head I goes, "This is not my hotel room anyway." So like, smoke.
I'll shit on my bed. Not my deposit we're losing.
That's not my money. That's your $250. So yeah, he was smoking. He's talking. He's telling me about how this one girl he sees in another state. She does methamphetamine. So like normally they just smoke. They have a good time, and they do whatever they do. But like she's a full service sex worker, and so he's like, yeah, we do our own thing. But she's like, she won't shit on me, and I really just want a person that could shit on me. And I was like, okay, You smoke a crack and I'll shit on you. So yeah, he just that's what it became. It became a almost a regular thing. And then one day he was just like, business sent me to the West Coast, so I won't be frequenting Philadelphia as much. I was like, oh, all right, it's fine. But I had a blast while it lasted. Just I didn't like smelling. Crack has a smell. Crack, I don't know.
Burnt plastic, yeah.
Yeah, and it hurts your head bad. So there, like, that was the only thing I didn't like about those sessions was leaving and throwing up. Like, just like I have to just because it's just the smell of it.
The
really,
crack smelled worse than the doo-doo?
Oh shit! Once I shit, I'm out. When I do the shitting part, that's at the end. That's the grand finale. The grand finale is the boo boo.
The grand finale.
I'm not shitting and staying. I'm shitting and I'm going. So you want me there for 2 hours? For 2 hours, we're gonna talk. You're gonna drink your wine. You're gonna drink your liquor. You're gonna smoke your crack. And I remember one time, I don't know what I guess he must have hit a scratch off. I don't know, but I just remember this, and I wish me and this guy was still talking. So he smoked up the crack and said, "I want weed and I want more crack." And I was like, okay. Called the guy up. I said, "Could you get me more?" He was like, because he was fucking with it too. Because he's like, oh shit, I guess he was making money off of it because he was getting this call, like getting this money, like this deal or whatever. So I called him one night for the session. He dropped me off. He says, "Hey," I said, "This, like, normally our sessions were like a couple hours. So it's like, just go home. Like, I'm not too far. You can pick me up." So I called him. I said, "Hey, could you bring me some more?" He wants more. And that's when I guess the dealer was like, "I don't believe you're selling crack." I guess he thought like he was doing something shady. So comes to the hotel. He goes, "I'm in the lobby." I said, "Come up." And I told him, I said, "Hey, listen, I got the people who, they got the crack. They gonna come." So he's like, "Okay, I don't mind, long as they got it and they got some weed. Tell them if they got cigarettes, because I get a cigarette." And I'm like, "They got all that, okay? Shit, this nigga got crack. He gotta have a port somewhere." So when he comes in, he said it like to him, it said like a scene from Dexter, because when he came in, like in the space, there was the trash bags and stuff on the floor, and then there's this guy on like every hotel has like that spare chair, like that chair that's randomly there. So it's like, the cuck chair. So he's on that chair and he's just like, he gets up once he sees the guys. He's like, "Oh, my friends." And here's these two hood niggas that are like, "Oh, whoa, this naked white guy with lipstick on, smoking crack." And it's like, "Oh, shit." So I'm like, "Hey, they, close the door, come in fast, just close the door, do this." And then goes to leave. And like, I guess I was like, "Oh, I'm almost done anyway, so just stay out in the lot. Like, just wait for me." And then when I was done, they're in the car and they was like, "Yo, this nigga you be boo-booing on him? He smoked crack." I'm like, "Yeah, smoke crack and shit. The best shit in my life." Shit, and I'm walking out with like $1,000+. Best shit ever. Love that shit. Anybody would take that shit.
Yeah, it makes me want to shit.
Yeah, I feel like shitting now.
Yeah. For that price, I can't stop myself from shitting.
Oh God, I'll give you a fountain of shit for $1,500. But yeah, that's I guess the most exciting, you can almost say, of a session.
And think about the amount of buying power that's changed for you. When piss used to just be DC shoes, and now doo-doo is well over $1,000.
Look at that. Look how whole nother level. Like, it's just, I'm elevating. Wall Street got nothing on me. Nothing on me.
Yeah.
You know what? Yeah. You know what piss gets you, kids? Piss gets you DC sneakers. Get your Black Braid Pearl and some lip gloss. But do you know what shit? Do you know the power of shit? $1,000. $1,000 for a little brown gold.
Brown gold, worth its weight in gold.
Weight in gold.
Man, that's a crazy story. That's wild. That's wild. I'm glad that guy got to smoke his crack and get his studio, but yeah, I wonder where that comes from. I wonder how that develops. Me saying I want to be pooed on.
I feel like it's like I want to say it's like the most ultimate form of humiliation, but I don't, because it's like, I don't know what, like, I think of that too, because I guess it's again, fetish is a spectrum. Like, it's not like just like a cookie cutter thing. So for some people can get like one feeling from it, some other person get another kind of feeling from it. So yeah, I question that sometimes when I session with new faces versus current people that like people I see all the time. Because like, okay, when I do this with them, it's like that. When I do that with this person, it's like this. So that's why I like. That's why I really enjoy what I do. I really, really enjoy what I do.
It's the social science aspect of it.
Yes.
Hell yeah. Ava, I thank you so much for coming on this. You told some wild stories. I mean, we definitely want to call you again, especially when we have Robert back. We want to have you as a returning voice.
Oh, Robert, how could you? But I can understand. I hope Robert's situation gets a lot better because, oh God, flooding. Oh, jeez, that's bad. I really hope I hope he's all right. But I am so happy to be on. I still can't stop thinking about that DM. I was like,
awesome. Well, Robert's gonna listen to this and edit it and put it out, so he's still involved. He'll still hear everything that we said about him, so we can't insult him. But
we love Rob.
we die for Robert. Oh my God. Awesome.
On the line.
We're gonna put your, unless you don't want us to, we're gonna put your Instagram and your Twitter in the description of the pod. When we share it, we'll tag you. It might not come out tomorrow because of Robert's situation, so it might be next week's episode.
That's perfectly fine. It's all good. But I'm glad to have been on. You can put my social medias, all my social medias, on my my Miss Ava Kane, my Instagram, Dominatrix Kane, my Twitter. But I have like all my links, even though that just links like the same shit. So yeah, you can put whatever. I don't care. Even my picture. I don't give you. Pick a picture. Shit.
Awesome.
Pick a picture. Go crazy.
Awesome. We'll probably take one from your Instagram then, unless you send us one that you want as like your headshot. If you have a preferred photo, just DM either the pod or me or Robert, and we'll 2 thumbs up and use that as the one that we share. Okay.
But I'm glad to be on. I'm glad to talk to you. And yeah, I love watching your page. Do you still roast people for $1?
I haven't in a while. I haven't in probably like a year or 2.
Like, why? That was like the highlight. I remember following you because I saw that video. You like the bartender thing. You was like spitting the cup. I was like, that shit had me dying, like an ugly, like I can't even recount the noise I made, but that shit was funny. And then follow you and seeing you like cash at me $1 and I'll roast you. And you used to grind niggas up. Like,
yeah, it got dark. I lost friends because of those roasts.
What?
Oh yeah, people did not like, because sometimes people would buy a roast for someone else and not tell them. And so I'd roast someone that I've never met, and I would say something that would be really offensive to them. And it happened enough times for people to get upset.
That's like the guy you know about the guy John Breaks Bad News?
Yeah, I know that. I've seen that.
Yeah, so like some of them are really, really funny. Then some of them they're like kind of like, ooh. But it's like because other people did the same thing. So now that makes a lot of sense. That makes sense. I was fucking with him.
I've seen those videos where he's like, damn, now you're involved in something kind of dark. You're talking about like a infidelity scenario when someone's learning for the first time. Yeah.
Oh yeah. So I did, but I appreciate it. I like following. I'm gonna keep following you because I fuck.
Thank you. Same. Big fan. Big fan back. The guy on the poll is what got me. I said, okay, something interesting's happening here.
God. So one of these days, now you're gonna have me. One of these days, I don't know. Like, do y'all have a Patreon or some shit like that?
No, we don't.
Okay, because like one of these days, he's in. This is like off record. He's in Frederick, Maryland. So one of these days, I will go down to Frederick or have him come down, and I'll have him on, and
we would love that.
I would thank him on for whatever.
we would do a Patreon just to get that involved. We would absolutely love that. That is right up our alley. We have a 10 out of 10. I don't even have to talk to Robert about that. I know he has a resounding yes.
I literally would like that's my guy. That's my bitch. Like even he's met my mama. Like he's even met my mom. Yeah.
Your mom? Does she know that he's your bitch?
Yeah, he don't know. Oh gosh, like shoot. But he'll be like, hey, I miss Ava's bitch. I'm so one time there's like a convenience store in the Northeast called Wawa. I don't know if you ever been to like in like this area.
I know. I haven't been to Pennsylvania, no, but I know what Wawa's is.
Okay, I fucking love Wawa. So one time we was in Wawa and it was we went to an Eagles game. We went to the Vikings versus Eagles, and somebody was playing a song doing the but then. So he was like, I know about that, miss. He has like his voice is the funniest shit in my life. It's like a square. He's like John everybody, just this square guy. Then when you meet him, you think he's this square guy, but in reality, John loves to have his balls tugged and his ass beat. So one day, I was like, we was at Wawa, and he took my mom. I was like, me and my mom gotta go to Wawa, and he's like, I'll take you, Miss Ava, because we were gonna go on our trip. And I said, John, do the butt inside the Wawa. And I was like, John. He's like, yeah. I said, go do the butt. And he stood in the middle close up. You like this, Miss Ava? You like this? Do the butt, John. He's like, yeah. You're gonna spank my ass and I do the butt, Miss Ava. Inside of a Wawa. So I'm gonna talk to him and be like, I might have to put like a little hood on him so that, you know, keep his identity safe. He doesn't have distinctive marks.
I feel like you would enjoy that. Having a hood put on him, I don't think that would really diminish his enjoyment.
Yeah, just shook him on. Just show you, spank your butt. Come on, let's spank your butt. Show everybody how you can take a paddle.
Awesome. Yeah, we're gonna do a Patreon just for that. That sounds fantastic.
Yay, I'm excited.
Inflation on the side, on the side, one the side, on the side, on the side, on the side, one the side, on the side, on the side.